Hello everyone, and welcome to some Sekiro-Tools of the Shinobi. This is just going to be a little mini-series that's going to be going over some of the smaller details in the game that people probably tend to miss, especially anyone who's of the casual variety. So, in this game, you have plenty of tools that'll let you tackle situations in different ways. But, there are some little minor things that I think people have, overlooked. So we're going to start off with probably my favorite of them, as well as we're going to go and break down what some of these items are actually used for. So let's start off. So for this video, we're going to be going over not actually oil, because that seems pretty easy. We'll probably be going over red lumps, as I don't oftentimes see a lot of people using the red lump, even though it does have a significant downside. We'll be going over contact medicine and its interactions with a specific Shinobi tool, and hidden tooth / bite down, and what its actual use is. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. The other item in question that we are going to go over is the ceremonial Tanto, because it's incredibly powerful. So, let's start off with the Tanto. I'm sure most people have gotten this throughout their playthroughs, but the Tantos function very similar to From Software's previous title, prior to Dark Souls, which would have been Bloodborne. It's very similar to making blood vials out of stabbing yourself. This gives you 5 free spirit emblems. I say free, but it takes out half your health bar, so you will need to recover past it. But it gives you 5 free resources to continue to go past your meter if you didn't use anything to increase your spirit emblems. So it puts me at 22 total spirit emblems, which is pretty good because a lot of the later spirit emblem stuff does cost quite a bit. You cost anywhere from 5 to 7 if you want to use any of the good ninjutsus, so even though they're not particularly relevant here on New Game Plus. But it gives you free activations, so we'll start with the contact medicine now. So contact medicine, what does it do? This makes you poisoned. It just does far less than the regular poison status debuff. It also makes you immune to the regular poison static debuff. However, it does have another use. So because you're constantly taking damage, things like the Mistwraven Feather will actually activate, which allows you to kind of see some of the other things you can kind of do with it, which is forcefully activate it. This one, the final version of the Mistwraven, this one causes fire trails to follow you, which makes it a good combo with oil because it will set them on fire. As well as this lets you kind of, say you're in a spot where there's a lot of enemies that you really don't want to deal with them, this gives you access to the actual dodge so you can continue to do it. So you have multiple instances of it in combat. As well as it gives you access to these moves inherently in combat, including the jumping one in which you can do a diving attack, and its forward one in which you can do its forward slash. This is probably one of the more useful small interactions you have in the game, because it gives you access to a bunch of new tools and escape paths. Because in actuality, most of the ninja tools don't particularly help you later on. I say that more in the sense this is New Game Plus the Demon Bell, so I'm saying this more on this playthrough. On your other playthroughs, I think they're all incredibly strong. But here, things like the evasion tactic with that lets you really kind of no skill away from some of the boss attacks that you end up experiencing. Moving on, we're going to be moving on to one of the more confusing ones. I remember when I first played through this, I was like, what the hell is the point in this item? It just kills you. So, we've got hidden tooth / bite down. So this just kills you. You're like, oh no, I'm dead. And you're dead. And now you can get your resurrect. But now, if you notice one thing on the left, you notice you can resurrect again. Ordinarily, say if you die regularly in combat, you don't get access to your other resurrection slots, unless you land a death blow. At least on a boss fight. Killing the threshold of enemies will return it in the middle of going through an area. But this lets you kind of just kill yourself and get almost what we would consider a minor heal. Whenever you resurrect with all the healing bonuses, you should come back with half your life. So, in a pinch, say you're already at the precipice of death, you can use Bite Down to get yourself a free resurrection, or rather to trigger your resurrection, while getting the heal for free without having to use any other resources. As well as not losing out on, say, your other resurrection slots. So, some quick turning of your inventory would give you access to that. And to make sure that I'm not lying, as you can clearly see, we have the other resurrection slot. This allows you essentially to use all 3 of your resurrects in a boss fight. That's the worst case scenario, but for players who are less experienced with deflection as well as just learning the overall mechanics of the boss, this is a good way to kind of power through fights if you have access to this. If you guys want to know how to get these items, I will leave links to the Fextra pages down below, because I don't really want to kind of go over it. There are also plenty of videos online to kind of just tell you what they do. And if you're new to the game, probably shouldn't watch this. This is full of spoilers. I'll put it in the title. Now, moving on to some of the other ninja tools that you have and kind of like their uses. So, probably the 2 strongest ones are these 2 in the late game. We've got the, I believe this is what, Suzaku Shield or whatever. Yeah, Suzaku's Lotus Umbrella. This one's really strong. Not as strong as the next one, but what does it do? Well, it blocks like the regular Iron Fortress, but it also has access to the fire resistance. As well as, one of the other major things about it is while you're in this mode, you can't get any of the status burn debuff, which is really strong. Because fire in this game, the burn debuff, what it does in this game is it prevents you from recovering your posture, which is massive. Like, statically, you just can't recover posture. So you do need to get rid of it with one of the dousing agents or whatever. But this one's not nearly as strong as the next one. The next one being Phoenix Lilac's Umbrella. So, what makes this one insane? Well, it does the same, but for terror. And it does it for every terror attack. Even the ones that are the large balls that drop from the Shichmen chanters or whatever for those mini bosses. As well as, yes, it does also affect Headless. Now, on this game mode, it doesn't particularly matter as far as blocking, albeit its deflection time is better than your regular one, as well as it will eat more of the damage. However, on this difficulty, even perfect deflecting, you will still typically take damage from hard-hitting attacks. This, however, gives you a better opportunity to land it, as well as just removes the build-up of terror, which, once it's up to 100, you're dead. So, yeah, it's probably one of the most useful ones you got, alongside using it with the Molted Purple Gourd. And now I guess I'll talk over the difference between the Molted Purple Gourd and, say, the Pacifying Agent. So, all of the on-use effects, their resistance to their respective effects are stronger than the gourds. The benefit of the gourds is they replenish from sitting at a statue, as well as they help reduce the buildup on their own, as well as you can clear any buildup. The issue is, the other ones, like all the consumables, will let you actually clear those debuffs. Shide, Terror, because you're just dead, but Fire will let you clear it, whereas the gourds do not. They do not let you clear your status debuff. You, unfortunately, are kind of, bent on that one. And I'm trying to think here. I think I had one last thing I did want to talk about. This one's pretty common knowledge. Snapseed, it's useful by dealing with illusions, but there is one boss fight in which you can use it on, in which it will add as an additional stun, so you can Snapseed it as well. I won't let you know what that boss is, I'll let you figure it out. But there is one other Shinobi tool that I want to talk about. Unfortunately, I can't show any footage of it because I just have not gotten to that fight on this playthrough. But we'll go over the Malcontent Ring Whistle. So, for those who don't know, on the Demon of Hate boss fight, who, spoiler, once again, this will be a spoiler, is the sculptor, he made mention when you got this ring from him. When you get this finger whistle, he talks about how it was the finger whistle from his friend, that he and his fellow shinobi did, their training in the valley with the monkeys. Now, the funny thing is, you get a similar effect by using this on the Demon of Hate that you would on Gascon using the music box in Bloodborne. So, if you use this on the Demon of Hate, he will actually he was just like stagger. And the same deal with Gascon is you have a limited number of times you can use it on his boss fight. His boss fight is definitely one of the better boss fights in this entire game, so I can highly recommend, if you have this does actually help out quite a bit. I'd recommend not using it a lot in phase 1, but if you're trying to learn the fight, it makes a very valuable tool to kind of learn your openings, because it'll let you stagger them, which is really, really cool, and shows that From Software enjoys putting those callbacks to their previous titles. Now, I do want to show one last nuance. I'm going to show it actually in the video. Aside from that, the Malcontent Ring also has the ability of affecting apparitions, as well as affecting the beasts. The same deal as any of the other ones, that cause them to attack each other. So, the next big thing, and this is kind of shown, I'm sure, on quite a few videos, we're going to go with Divine Abduction. And we're going to go quickly on a field trip. Alright. And I'm going to make a quick cut while we get there. So, see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, and welcome to the next portion of stuff. So here we're going to be showing off Divine Abduction, what its real role is. So, one of its little hidden uses is that it's always going to get these guys gone. They'll be gone forever. So you don't even have to deathblow them or anything, even though the monks aren't particularly the most difficult enemies. And I believe the same is also for its final upgrade, which would be the Golden Vortex. So let's just make sure that I'm not lying to you guys. So Golden Vortex should also do the same thing. He's gone forever? Yep. So on top of getting the benefit of it giving you the extra gold and the items, yeah, like that. Golden Vortex, same deal, costs the same as double abduction, but it will get rid of any of these monks. So it makes going through here a little bit easier. This works on almost all the enemies here. Works on the big monks, works on these regular monks, as well as works on the masked monks. However, it does not work on the monks right inside Senpo Temple that have the dual glaive weapon. So do not go attempting to use it on them. They will still just, tear your butt up. And I believe that might be the only thing I'll be going over in this video. If you enjoyed any of these tips and kind of want more of this style of video, leave it down in the comments what you would like to see. Or if you did have any questions about any of the Shinobi tools / small nuanced items. I can do in-depth breakdowns of each of them, as well as go over the descriptions and how to obtain them. And also, if you do want to learn any of these tricks, feel free to join the Sekiro Discord. I will leave the Discord link down below. You can find any of the mod content creators that I mentioned in the last video, as well as learn anything else from Dark Souls stuff to, tech, or just, for memes. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys hopefully on the next one. Hopefully we'll be doing some more Sekiro content in the future. I just want to get these, a little bit more tailored and a little bit more in-depth. So, until then, though, bye-bye.